Hey everybody, it's me again, this time with a little bit of a different kind of video, but still in the same place. I chose a nice day to be working here because usually it's really cold out here with lots of windows and no warming, so that's good, I'm good to go. Today I'm gonna make a little bit of a different kind of video, not a review. So let's just get So, I love fantasy books. You know, it's a way you can dream away about different worlds, and you can worry about problems that don't really matter because the problems aren't real, and yeah, basically about relevant problems in an irrelevant world. But in books with a different political system, different rulers, that kind of thing, you also have different opinions, which is why I often don't find myself agreeing with, for example, the Apprentice series, you know? And when I get annoyed by that kind of thing, about things that I don't agree with, I rant about them. So, usually my little sister is the one who listens to my 20-minute rant about what on earth is wrong now with the books, but by now she can pretty much predict what I'm gonna say, so yeah, I decided to do a little bit more productive stuff with my time, and with my thoughts, so I decided to make this video. So yeah, basically it's a video about my problems with the Apprentice series. And first off, I'm just gonna say, I think the series is really cool. The only reason that I see so many problems with it is that it's so cool that I think a lot about it, and then suddenly I see all these problems. So, let's just start off with the little ones. First off, you know, in the very oh yeah, sorry, nearly forgot. Spoilers. I mean, basically in the entire series up until book 12. Yeah, if you don't want to get spoiled, just go away, read the books, they're really cool, and then come back. If you want a different perspective on things. I mean, if you just like to read the books and just, yeah, have fun. Anyway, so, now, really the smaller problems. First off, you know in that thing in the first book, where Will meets Tug, his future horse, or pony, I don't know exactly what they are anymore, and Holt says, yeah, go on, get on, and Will's like, yeah, no, that's not a good idea, but he does it anyway, and yeah, sure enough, the horse bucks him off. I mean, it was funny. Except, like, I don't know, I know this sounds really weird, but that is dangerous, you know? How Holt just shrugs it off with like, haha, in my day we had to stand back up again, you know? I just always find myself wondering how many sons of prestigious leaders and rich men, you know, like Gillen, got bucked off and broke their neck and we never heard about them again? Like, what? I mean, if there would be a reason for doing it, I'd be like, okay, that's cool. But like, for example, just teaching the boys what it's like to be bucked off or something like that. But no, the only reason Holt and any other ranger does this to his friends is like, well, I don't know, I just thought it'd be funny. And like, yeah, but what if he gets hurt? I don't know, it's just too dangerous. Another thing is, these I'm just gonna call them horses. These horses buck people off unless the people first whisper a password into their ear. And I was like, oh, that's totally cool. But then I told my mom and she was like, yeah, that probably means they just made the horses afraid during training, until they bucks people off, because that's how it works with fair training. You teach a horse that whenever somebody gets on their back, something nasty happens, like, I don't know, they get hit, or in a better case, they hear a loud noise that they don't like. So eventually, when they feel someone getting on their back without the password, they're like, oh, this is bad, I need to buck them off. So, I mean, I think it's still cool, I still want a horse that does that, but I don't know, it's not that great the way they're training them. Another smaller thing, in the same book, the first one, Horace is bullied repeatedly by these other battle school apprentices. And, until, you know, there's this big showdown, where Horace kind of beats up the bullies. And on the one hand, I can understand this, but, you know, I know this is really cliche, but, you know, beating up the bully makes you a bully, that kind of thing. It's just, it wasn't even self-defense, because the bullies had already stopped. I mean, like, if he'd beaten them while they were still trying to hurt him, okay, I get that, but, like, the bullies had already been stopped, they were already realized they were in trouble because Holt had seen them, so there wasn't really a reason to do it other than revenge. Basically, he was taking out his anger on them, which is another trademark of bullies, by the way, so... And it wasn't a public statement or anything because there wasn't anybody else to watch, you know? Because, like, sometimes people say, yeah, but harsh punishments are a way to show the rest of the world that you shouldn't do the bad thing. Yeah, but there was nobody else to see it. So it wasn't a public statement. It wasn't self-defense. He basically was taking his anger out on them. And it was basically just revenge. And I mean, I get it. And it might be because I'm not a boy. So, you know, boys are more prone to being physical than girls. So it might be because of that I didn't like it. Because all my brothers and my dad were like, yeah, of course he's beating him now. So, it might just be me. But then the bullies get banished from the entire, province. I don't remember. Province. I'm just gonna call province. I get it. Especially in that culture where if you were 16 or whatever, 17 or something, you were considered an adult. But yeah, I get it. They were rich and they were protecting the name of the school but like this makes one mistake it wasn't one mistake. It was a lifestyle. They were jerks. But they're really young. They're literally just getting sent away from everything they know, just out into the open, and they're never going to be able to come back. They're never going to be able to come back to the place where they grew up. And to their mother, if their mother and father stay there, to their friends, they just get literally sent away. I mean, again, I thought they were really horrible guys too. It just didn't sit right with me. That's such a harsh punishment. I mean, they had already gotten their butts kicked by a horse. They had already gotten the fright of their lives because of Holt being angry at them, and Will pointing his bow at them. So I don't know. It seems a bit overkill to me. Another small thing, this is in the 12th book, the very last book of this series anyway, called The Royal Ranger, where Will himself gets an apprentice. His apprentice named Maddie, and she's the royal princess. And Maddie, she is really insecure because, you know, her parents are Horace and Horace and Cassandra. So basically, she's got a lot to live up to. So she's really insecure and she behaves really badly. So her parents send her away to become apprentice to Will to teach her a lesson. But even there, she disbehaves really badly. So then Will shows her a letter in which her parents literally disown her. Now, I myself have been pretty insecure in past times. I mean, not now. Now everything's great. But like, when I was younger, sometimes I felt really insecure. And let me tell you, if my parents had literally written a letter in which it said, "You are not our daughter anymore," that would have sent the wrong signals. I mean, I understand they didn't know what to do but come on. You know, I know the signal this wasn't supposed to be the signal they sent, but if you say that, pretty much what you're saying is you're not enough to be our daughter. And I mean, that's not what they were trying to say, obviously. They were trying to say, you know what, you act like you're so big and haughty, because if you're insecure, you start actually acting more haughty. But yeah, not A+ parenting. So, and she didn't even get a talking to. Like, when I was so insecure, I started being really nasty to all my siblings and everything. And what happened, my mom was basically told me, "You're being a jerk." And that kind of just, yeah, I realized, oh wow, I really am being really annoying and I'm making myself into the victim. So, and well, it didn't stop, but it did help me. So, like, I've got the feeling like neither Horace nor Cassandra really ever had a talk with her. They just they did have talks, but not like a real talk, like, you gotta stop this right now. And they just sent her away to Will. And then Will just expects Maddie to just get on with her training, just to buck up and ride, just get on your horse. Now's not the time for a cry. That's literally what the book says he thinks. He's like, now's not the time to cry. She first needs to work out a bit. But no offense, but that's really unfeeling and selfish. I mean, can Will imagine what it would be like if Holt literally told him, "You are not my, son anymore"? I mean, just expect that girl to be like, "Buck up, no crying, get on your horse." That's just really rude. And I mean, I thought it was really unrealistic. She didn't cry. We don't hear anything about her, for example, crying in her bed that night. I mean, yeah, I would have cried if that had happened to me. So, I don't know, it was kind of like a really harsh thing to do, and I don't feel like it was addressed enough what actually happened there. So another thing about Cassandra is that they call her Evanlyn throughout the entire books. Now, I don't know, Evanlyn, I don't really know how you pronounce it exactly, so sorry if that's messing up with what you always called her, because I know that's annoying. But anyway, so what happens, this is, I think, a spoiler for, let me check. I don't know. Anyway, I put this in small because it's not like this overarching gigantic problem, but this really annoys me, because Evanlyn was Cassandra's handmaid back when Cassandra nearly got killed by, like, what were they? These orcs? No, wargles. She was stuck in, I think, this other country, and then these wargles came upon them, and her handmaid pretty much sacrificed herself for Cassandra so Cassandra, the princess, the crown princess, could live. Now, that handmaid was 15 years old. She died as a 15-year-old at the hands of wargles for her princess. That is one of the most heroic things in the entire series, and we never hear about it anymore. Like, no mentioned funeral or honor ceremony or any recompensation to the adults. Like, I know maybe it's just not mentioned, but it did happen. You can say that. But like any other time in the series, when anybody gets even a small reward, you know, you hear about it. For example, Will, he got like this, basically his dream come true for saving people who were of lower status than the crown princess, and he was way farther away from the actual danger. He didn't die. He could literally have just sat in that cave and not have anything happen to him. So he got like lots of honor, and then this girl, this anonymous girl, who just died out there, we never hear anything about it. And okay, then Evanlyn's name is used by Cassandra, because Cassandra doesn't want everybody to know she's the crown princess, you know, with the war going on and everything, because it's just safer. So then obviously Will and Gillen and Horace get to know her as Evanlyn, which means that they feel kind of awkward calling her Cassandra. So basically for the rest of the books, she's called Evanlyn. Now, I have a very big problem with this, because this girl died. And just imagine you're the parents of this girl, okay? First, your daughter dies for the crown princess and you, like, get zero mention. Then the crown princess's friends start calling her Evanlyn. That's like, it feels like your daughter's being replaced. It's just, yeah, it's just like, oh, now she's calling herself by my dead daughter's name. Wow, that's so awesome. Like, great, cool. So, I don't know, I feel like this 15-year-old girl who gave her life for her country should have been a bit of a bigger issue, to be honest.